Hi, I'm Sunny Harris. My website's moneymentor.com. This is a picture of the front page of the website. Some important information at the top, banner ads, and then this is everything that I offer and a little bit about me. I also offer two charts that are live every day and a chart of the vantage point prediction for the next day every day. You can come there and get that for free. So moneymentor.com. And this is a chart of the Dow. I want to show you that first. Let me get this back up. Okay, so this is a chart of the Dow. You can see that we have tried one, two, three, four times to get above this purple line. The purple and gold lines are my dynamic moving average. The blue and green lines on the top are the upper bands, and the blue and green lines on the bottom are the lower bands. So with it stumbling right here at a flat DMA, dynamic moving average, chances are we're going back down. So I agree with Mike on his ES assessment. I think we've got some more room on the downside, probably down to right about here, which is 39,228. So I think we've got that much left on the downside, at least, if not considerably more. And now I will take your symbols. Now I have to find the chat. Okay, so anybody wants a symbol? I'm going to bring up Palantir so we can look at what Mike just looked at from my perspective. Palantir is just now coming out above the DMA. That's a buy signal. Right there, I think Palantir is going back up. And I'm going away, I'm going out of the country for 10 days. And then after I get back, if it's still doing anything like this, I'm going to buy again. I sold all of my stocks off in February, middle of February. So I've been in cash this entire time, and we shall see. But I love Palantir. Okay, good. We got some symbols. SPX. How about SPY or ES? Either one. You want to see the ES? So this is the SPY, the SPY, and it's doing just like the Dow, and it's flat DMA, purple on top, price touching and can't get through. So we have some more room on the downside, according to my analysis. KKR. This one still has to rise all the way to the DMA, so it's got a little bit more room on the upside. It'll hit the DMA and likely be reflected. So I think we're looking at a move down into the lower inner band, which is at 94.85. Let's see what else we've got. UTHR. And this one's kind of iffy. It's got a long ways to go to get up to the DMA. Purple's on top, which tells me that the bias of the market is down. When gold's on top, the bias of the market's up. When purple's on top, which you can see from this little indicator with the dots down here, tells me purple's on top. So the bias is to the downside. So this one could go on. I don't know what it is, but it could go on down. United something. HURN. We're on top of the DMA. Purple's still on top, but you see how this is light purple? That tells me purple's on top, but the DMA is flat. So we've got a flat DMA. We've got price on top of it. It could do either way. It could go on up to the upper inner band, or it could go down to the lower inner band. It's just as likely either way at this point because those are not blue bars. So we could expect to move down to 133.40. How about some more symbols? Let's see what we got. CRWD. And that one's up, up, and away. We've got more move on the upside. In fact, it's probably going to go on up to the upper outer band, which is at 431 and change. I can't get it to show me the rest of the decimal points there. But the buy signal for this one came in when this crossed the top of the first blue, the close of the first blue candle. Just I only consider the bodies. I don't consider the wicks. So when it went above there, right about the 200 moving average was the buy signal. So we've got all the way up into here, and we're probably going on up. AMD. Once again, right at the DMA. Flat DMA means danger, danger. So we don't know where this is going until it gets above the DMA or below the DMA. One or the other will tell us the next direction. AMZN. Now see what I was talking about? This is, you see it goes up and up and up, touches the DMA and reflects off of it. So that's the kind of formation I'm seeing on the other stocks we just looked at. So it'll go back down to the lower inner band at the very least, which is at 172 and change. Meta. And that's the reflection off the DMA again on Meta. It's coming on down a little further. It'll go to the lower inner band, sorry, if not on down to the lower outer band at 479 and change. Yeah, I think we're still in for some good downdrafts. Let's look at gold for a second. Nobody has any symbols yet. We'll look at gold. So we are up, up, up. We're above that recent high. We're still above it at this point. We're up $19 today from the low close on the red candle. So we're up. I think we're going to 3,400 on this one. I own a lot of gold, and that's where I'm betting. And then it'll probably come down from there. ERK, that's B. ERK.B. There we go. Berkshire Hathaway is above the DMA, has two red candles, which is pretty scary, but I still think it's coming up to the upper inner band, which is at 548.30 something. Berkshire Hathaway is always a good stock for a while. On the death of its founder, it will be very volatile. And he's getting pretty old. So be real careful with Berkshire Hathaway. Rivian. RIVN, Rivian. Once again, all the stocks are going to be doing about this same thing, except unless you find an outlier. So it's right at the DMA. We've got a blue candle and then a doji. And my guess, if I had to guess, was it'll come up to the upper inner band. Sorry. And not only that, we are also right at the 21 and 55 moving averages, and could be heading for the 200. I use 51 and 21 and 55, sorry, because they're both Fibonacci numbers. And they're very close to, but not exactly the same as the 50 and the 20. That way I'm trading on a different rhythm than the standard people who use those three moving averages, 250 and 20. So I'm a little bit different. I'm getting signals a little tiny bit different. And that's what I use on every chart. Oh, HSI. I don't know if I can get that. No. At sign HSI. No. Dollar HSI. No. Sorry. Do you have a different symbol that you can give me that will effectuate that? In the meantime, we'll look up LEU. Now you can tell me. I don't have to tell you. You can tell me. This is at the flat DMA. We've gone up and touched it and two candles down. Where do you think we're going next? Lower inner band. Okay, so we've got to move down to about, well, there, 5702. So that looks like that's what's next on that one. If anybody wants free TradeStation lessons, I use TradeStation. I've been using it for 38 years, and I'm pretty good at it. And if anybody wants a free lesson, give me a call. If you go to TimingResearch.com, at the top right of the page is my phone number, and I answer it myself. You don't get a salesman. So just give me a call, and we'll set up some free TradeStation lessons. And anybody that wants a free trial of my indicators, Sunny Bands and the DMA, same thing. Give me a call and we'll set you up for free. Have any more symbols? Let's look at Microsoft while I'm waiting. Now this one's above the DMA. Broke through here, stumbled, broke through again, and then two red candles. So this one's likely to come down to the DMA and then bounce. And the bounce, I think, should take it to the upper inner band at 404 and change. Yeah, that's what I see. MCK, not MCD for McDonald's. And whatever this is well above the DMA. The DMA has turned gold, so that means the bias is to the upside. So we have at least, what is this one? 714 at the upper inner band. Upper outer band is 736. So that one looks like a pretty good one. I run a scan every night of the stock universe to see what's over the 21, the 55, and the 200 moving averages. There aren't very many of them these days because, it gets pretty negative out there. But the ones that are all above all three moving averages are generally pretty bullish. And you can run that scan. If you don't know how to use the scanner, give me a call. I'll teach you for free. Let's look at McDonald's just because I said that. And we've got some room to go on the downside and then a pickup to go to the upper inner at 321. Not that I approve of eating McDonald's. I mean, you could weigh 240 pounds if you did that. Any more symbols? If you don't have any more symbols, I'll sign off. Walmart, excellent. WMT. Same thing. This one's going to go up to the upper outer band at 98.56. So we've got some motion on the upside still left. My guess with this one, because I do watch this one all the time, it's one of the ones I hold when I'm in a buy mode. But I think it'll come up to there, and then it's likely to go on up to 100, which is a nice even number, and then come back down into this area again at the 94, 93. Here's another one I watch, Costco. That's the same story as Walmart. Up above the DMA. DMA is slightly sloping upwards, which is positive. Um, this red bar did not go below the body of the blue bar before it, so I'm going to guess with this one we can expect some move up. Can I talk about how sunny bands are constructed? I sure can. I spent 18 months, this is the 39 years ago. I spent 18 months working 18-hour days, 7 days a week, in order to come up with the mathematics for this dynamic moving average. It's not like any other average because this one dynamically calculates its own inputs. So, for instance, you don't have 9 and 18 for fast length and slow length. You don't have anything. It just calculates its own inputs. And the dynamic nature of that, and what I was trying to solve when I was doing all that work, was how do you get rid of whipsaw? Because whipsaw is the bane of our existence. It kills us all. We can catch a good trend and then lose all the money in the whipsaw, right in through here too. And then I put two average true range bands on the DMA, and they are at 1.2 and 2.0 average true ranges above the DMA and below the DMA. I use average true ranges instead of standard deviation because standard deviation tells you statistically where you should go. And what I want to know is where is the market going? Not where is it going to go, but where is it going? And that gives me a much better look at buying and selling. So that's really it on the sunny bands. And I've got another indicator on here called the dynamic moving average histogram. So the histogram is the difference between the gold and the purple. And you can see right here, it's getting very small. And as it gets smaller and smaller, it'll cross above and turn gold. And then the stock will go up. On the bottom, I have a series of dots that show me who's on top, purple or gold. So I can just glance at that real quick and know. Because sometimes they get so close together you can't tell. And then slope is the slope of the DMA. It tells me in this case that it's positive and rising. Oh, we've got some more stocks. AAPL. David, let me know when I'm running out of time. Oh, this one's interesting. We got something different going on here. We came up almost to the DMA, and then we shot up above the DMA and came back down to it. Now that's curious formation. The next candle is a blue doji. And what do I guess on this one? I guess it's going to come down into about here and then rise some more. So if you want to hold on for the little dip down, you could do that. And then I expect it to rise to the upper inner band at 225. Oh, let's look at NVIDIA. I like NVIDIA. Well, that's the same pattern we've been looking at. Stumbling at the DMA, blue, red, blue candles. So it wouldn't take much for NVIDIA to go on down and reflect off that EMA. That's kind of what since the preponderance of these stocks that we've been looking at have this formation, I'm thinking the market's going to have a little more downdraft. Google. See that? Same pattern. Stumbling at the DMA. That typically means it's going to come down. Netflix. I love Netflix. Ah, this one broke out above it. See that? So now we're going to go on up to the upper inner band. And if it has some strength behind it, we'll go up to the upper outer band, which will put it above its all-time high or recent high. I don't know if that's the all-time or not, but it's the recent high for sure. How about if I go through the Mag 7? All right, you put the symbols in for them. You put Apple, Netflix, and Amazon. Google, you missed Meta. We just did Meta, so let's look at it again real quick. This one's going down. So we've got, see how what I mean about it reflecting off the DMA? This one touched it, went barely above it, and then came down below it. Purple still on top, which means that the bias of the market is to the downside. And sure enough, it went down. Got a little tiny bit more to go, and then we'll see what happens from there. It could go either way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for Meta. What am I missing? Can we find your DMA on TradingView? I'm sorry, no. TradingView doesn't have a language that's sophisticated, programming language that's sophisticated enough to do the mathematics in sunny bands. I'm using partial differential equations in here, and their language just won't handle it. So I would love to do that. I would love to have that version, but we can't do it at this point. TradeStation, multi-charts, MetaStock, and NinjaTrader. That's what I have it for. And here we have sideways, sideways, sideways. Probably going to reflect to the downside. I'm looking at 22.24 and change for the target. Okay. Anybody else? Spotify. I like Spotify. I listen to music on Spotify. And got the same situation with the DMA on top of the price movement, holding down any further price movement at this point. Now, this bar could go on up and then break through the DMA, but the likelihood is for it to be reflected off that and come down to 506-ish. GRPN. What on earth is that? Groupon. And this one's out above the DMA. So that says that could go on up to the upper outer band now. It's at the upper inner. It could go on up to the upper outer at 2102 or 2112, sorry. 2112 for that one. Duck. And this one's looking like it wants to go up higher. It hasn't touched the upper inner band yet, which it probably will. And who knows from there? It could go on up and best its recent high, or it could hit the upper inner band and drop right back down. So be careful. That's all I got to say to you today is be careful. These things are, we're in dangerous times in more ways than one. So we have to be very careful as traders. Always have a stop in place. I also always have a target price in place when I'm trading. I do have a live trading room every morning from 7:30 to 8:30 California time for those who subscribe. And then I have a Wednesday meeting, which I let people in on a guest pass. So if you want a guest pass, I'm going to send you my email right here. Sunny@moneymentor.com. That's pretty easy. Oops, that went to hosts and panelists. I want it to go to attendees.
I reposted it for you.
Thank you, David. So if you email me and put the words guest pass in there, give me your name. I'll have your email that way, and I'll send you a link to. Oh, today's Tuesday, so tomorrow we have a live trading room at 7:30 a.m. Pacific time. Anybody wants to be in that? Watch me trade live. I trade the ES on a 5-minute chart. I watch the 1 minute for better fills, and I trade the 5 minute. So if anybody wants to see that live, today I made, what did I make today? 2,024 in an hour. Last week I made, what did I make? 8,000, 12,000, and 6,000 in 3 days with small losses in between. So my live trading room's doing really well. We're up over 100% already. EIC. So just text me guest pass. I mean, email me, sorry. Email me guest pass. This one has a lot of weakness in it. You see how it was reflected off the DMA? Purple's on top, so we're biases to the downside. It went up to here and reflected back. I think it's going to come on down to the lower inner band at 13.66. Let's have one more and then I'll give it back to David. F Wonk. Never heard of that, but it's a good symbol. Oh, this one's kind of hard to read. So we went along here under the purple DMA with it flat, 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 and now it's descending. Slope is coming up toward the zero line. It's still below zero, but it's moving upward. This one could come on up to the DMA. Even though it's below there right now, it looks like it could come up to the DMA, which is at 84.26, I think. So that's a difficult one to say. And if I go down to the histogram, I see two green bars, but they're almost of equal length, which tells me that it's moving sideways, which it is, and that it's probably going to move up. Green one indicates future upward movement. So if you want a free trial, or if you want to come to my trading room tomorrow, or what else do I offer? I think that's all I mentioned. Just either give me a call at 760-908-3070. That's my cell phone. I answer it myself. Or send me an email at sunny@moneymentor.com. Thanks, everyone.